Hey guys, and welcome to a new series on my channel. Recently I asked you guys whether or not you'd be interested in seeing a palette a day series. A couple of you did say you'd be interested in seeing that series testing all of the indie brand eyeshadow palettes that I have in my collection, and these are brand new to me. I made it kind of a mission in my personal life to support more independent brands and get more into indie eyeshadow brands. So I have been hauling a bunch. I've got a bunch of different indie brand haul shadow videos on my channel. I think there's 4 installments, and I will be trying to link those in the description box in case you guys are interested in checking them out and you haven't already. But I have 45 palettes that I have not tested, I have not put on my eyes. I have swatched most of these in the haul video, but in these videos I am going to fully swatch all of the palettes before we do one look. Not all of these palettes are still available. I noticed that after hauling them, some of them sell out. That's how indie brand shadows go. But in case some of them do come back in stock, and in case you guys have these palettes in your current collection and are interested in seeing a look, I am going to include all of the palettes that I hauled, regardless of whether or not they are still available. I am just picking the palettes that are really calling to me the day that I come up here to film these videos. And if you are interested in me doing a look with any one of those next, please leave it in the comments below. If you guys aren't currently subscribed, I'd love to see you subscribe. You guys, let's get into it. Welcome to day 5, you guys. I have a lot of work to do. And actually a bunch more palettes have been coming in that I ordered, and a couple of new releases that I've also picked up. So it's grown from 45 to about 55 at this particular moment. But today I want to do the Dragon Fruit palette. This is a re-release of this palette, and I did check this morning. It is still available for sale. I thought I would do this one specifically because they mentioned that this was going to be the last restock of this palette after it's re-released. So before it goes out of stock, I thought it would be a good idea to do a look with this palette. This is from Clionadh Cosmetics in collaboration with Emily Violet Marie. It's an all shimmer palette, and the packaging on this has been updated. So now it's coming in cardboard packaging, where initially it came in plastic packaging that I feel like a lot of people were saying had issues with breaking. Like, just the overall construction of the plastic packaging wasn't super sturdy. I thought we would try this palette today as a standalone palette because it does come with something they call a lookbook. So the Dragon Fruit lookbook gives you instructions on how to create 2 different eye looks, and I thought we would try this one today. Primarily because I feel like you can get a more colorful look out of it. You can incorporate some of the greens. I just think overall you're playing with more shades than this one. Although this one is playing with the one of the 2 multi-chromes in the palette. So I was going back and forth, but ultimately I landed on this one. It's just a little bit fun anyway. So that's the one we'll do after we swatch it. And also it comes with a card that tells you like all of the different formulas for each of the shades. So it's 13 eyeshadows and 6 different formulas, which I really love in an all shimmer palette. So you've got the Sparkle Shadow, Duochrome, Velvet Satin, Metallic, and then 2 multi-chromes in here, which I thought were really cool. So I'm gonna try and like follow along when I swatch to tell you which formula is which. I do kind of wonder why they chose 2 of the lighter shades in here to be like bigger pans. I'm not sure I know the reasoning because they're not the same formula. It would make sense if they were like the 2 multi-chrome formulas, but they are not. One is one of the Sparkle Shadow formulas and the other one is the multi-chrome formula. So I'm gonna swatch from left to right and go down by row. So let's start this off. Let's start this off with Bubbles. And by the way, the only shadows that I've used from Clionadh were 2 singles. I've only ever tried 2 singles and I love them. They're some of my favorite singles in my whole collection. So I feel like even though this maybe doesn't look like the most fun looking in the pan, I feel like these are going to come out super special on the eyes. So this one is in the shade Bubbles. Bubbles is one of the 2 multi-chrome formulas. Actually, I think when I was showing you, I was saying this one is a multi-chrome, but it's this one up here. Anyway, let's get to swatching this multi-chrome. Oh, that's really pretty. It's pretty smooth feeling, just like her other single that I have. It looks more like green on the finger, but it's more of like a pink shift. Glitter Iridescent Multi-Chrome is what it says. Look how thin it is though. It's like no texture at all, even though it's kind of glittery. All right, this next shade, Refresh, is a metallic formula. I'm not sure what to expect because this doesn't look like sparkly like at all, and it's like super smooth. It feels more like a satin to me. That is the quintessential kind of more tacky satin formula is what that feels like. Just really no sparkles whatsoever, and not foily either, even though they're calling it like a metallic. All right, this next one is Strawberry Pear, and that is actually the Velvet Satin formula. Interesting. Okay, not at all what I expected. It's like a coral shade. It's really pretty, but it feels just like the one above it. Interesting. Do they look different even though this one is metallic and then this one is the velvety satin? Not really. I mean, not to me anyway. All right, this next one is Dragon Teeny, which is another one of the multi-chrome formulas. I really like this shade. I hope that we use this shade in today's look. I'm pretty sure we do. I feel like this is one of the highlighty shades. So I'm kind of wondering like why they didn't end up making that one of the bigger pans. It's pretty pink and gold. Infusion is the next one, which is a purple shade. It's a sparkle shadow formula. I imagine it's a more sparkly shade. It's like multi-dimensional sparkles inside of kind of this like light lavender. It's really pretty. It's kind of like the one above it too, that is that like multi-chrome shade. All right, this next one is Hyloceras, I think is how it's pronounced. And this one is a duochrome formula. Oh yeah, you can see it. It's like pinkish purple almost when I swatch it out. Pink to purple. It's such a light shade. It's such a light flip. These are all really smooth. All I've ever known from Clionadh is to do like really smooth shimmers. All right, this next one in Sweetened is another one of the Velvet Satin formulas, which I really like for their pigmentation, and that I think they're gonna have the ability to be really good substitute matte shades. This next one, Exotic, is a metallic formula. Again, these metallics feel like they could be substitute mattes. They just have this satininess about them. I'm really excited to get to the greens because so far this is pretty pink. This next one is called Prickly. It's the Velvet Satin formula. It definitely is like softer feeling than the metallics, but not like terribly dissimilar. My husband is downstairs like on a meeting right now, so I can hear him really loudly. I bet you guys can too. All right, now we're getting into the greens. So the next one is Dragonfly. I almost said dragon fruit. Dragonfly, which is the metallic formula. I'm excited to bring this in because finally we kind of have different color than pink and purple. There you go right there. I wish I could pronounce the next one. Kakete. Forget it. It's this one right here. I don't know how to pronounce that, so I'm not gonna try. There we go. Fruit Fizz is a duochrome formula. Ooh, you know what? I think these duochromes are actually kind of my favorite. Both in the way that they feel, but also how they flip. I feel like they give more dimension than even the multi-chrome ones. Plus, I love a shade like this too, so I'm super partial to like goldy corals. All right, this last one is beautiful. It's one of the sparkle shadow formulas in Effervescent. It almost seems like duochrome-ish, but maybe it's not. It's just like this super champagne-y pink that's like sparkly, light reflecting shade. There's the full color story. Some pretty interesting shades, honestly, but I kind of wish there was a few more lighter shades. You've got a lot of mid-tone and deep shades and only 3 real light shades is kind of what it looks like to me. But I like the fact that these satin formulas are darker so that you can use them, again, like I said, as a replacement to a matte shade for deepening. I don't know how this is gonna go because I've never followed instructions to create an eye look. This is the one that we're gonna go with today. We're gonna do look 1. It doesn't look like she's wearing falsies, so I'm not gonna throw on any falsies, which I feel like with a heavy wing like this, I would probably wanna throw on some falsies. And also I just feel like this one you can get more shades out of. I don't know that for sure because I wasn't reading the instructions, but the first step here says to take Dragantini in the outer corner. So prime your lids with your favorite eyeshadow base, but don't set it. Oh, I already set mine. Too bad. Apply Dragantini to the outer third of the lid, pulling the shape up and out to a point. Then apply Infusion to the inner third, leaving the middle of your lid blank. I'm not sure I have that much eye, but here is Dragantini in the corner over here, which doesn't necessarily look like what they're using to deepen that like wing, but we'll give it a shot. And then it says to bring Infusion like into the inner third, leaving the middle of the eye blank. Except it looks like to me, this is bringing Infusion all the way in and then just laying the green on top of it. So I don't know, that's probably what we'll do. I'm telling you guys, this does not look like Dragantini in the outer third. This looks more like Sweetened or Exotic is in the outer third. We're gonna follow the instructions on this though. All right, gotta pull this mirror closer. I'm just taking a flat brush and I'm trying this dry first to see how this works. Cause I wanna lay the base of this down. See how deep that outer corner is? And Dragantini is like the light shade. I don't buy these instructions. I don't. This is not a shade I would use for the outer corner at all. This is sparkly. And it says that Dragantini here is one of the multi-chrome formulas. So why are we putting this multi-chrome on the outer part of the eye? Like that's just glittery and sparkly. This doesn't have enough dimension. This is not dark enough. I wanted to match, so I'm gonna take Sweetened right here in the outer corner, because this Dragantini is not building up. There's no way I'm going to be able to get this as deep as this look on the cards if I keep using Dragantini. I'll have to make both sides match at this point, but I think we can. So remember, this one is sweetened. And sweetened is one of the velvet satin formulas. I think that once I clean it up, that'll look pretty close. I don't have the same exact eye shape as she does, but she's like really like sharp point right here. So we'll have to clean it up at the end. I'm gonna go back into Dragantini in this outer corner because I gotta make a match now. And then going back into sweetened. I need to get my hair out of my face. I'm not going to get these to match, but we're going to fix it at the end. All right, then it says apply infusion to the inner third, leaving the middle of your lid blank. Okay, so the inner third, and then just leave the center blank. I was reading that incorrectly before. So infusion is that purple shade. Again, I'm just going in dry with the brush. I want to see how it picks up. Dry, not very good. Okay, let's try wetting it with some setting spray back into infusion. And infusion was one of the sparkly shadow formulas. It's a really pretty purple shade. I love the way that the base looks in the pan. I think even more so than the way that it looks when it gets to the eyes. Kind of wish this was a deeper purple, or it like had a flip to it, not a sparkle. That would be so pretty if it had a flip. I think ultimately you can really do a lot with this palette. Even as a standalone, even if you're not following instructions that the palette gives you, like I can see a ton of things that we can do with it. I just realized we're doing look 2 and not look 1 with the green. That kind of sucks. I just now realized it when I was looking at look 2. Okay, so look 1 is even farther on the back. So not at all what I was thinking. No wonder it wasn't coming out as deep. Great. Okay, now that we know, let's actually take the prickly shade, which is the super deep purple. Now we're just marrying the two looks together. Prickly. I didn't follow the instructions for that look at all. And let's deepen up this outer corner. I'm just taking sweetened back like all over the lid, just on top of what we just did. Might as well at this point, like fade these two in together. I definitely want some flippy shade all over the lid though. And I definitely want to bring the green in too. Okay, now it says to take the Dragantini shade that I started with in the outer corner all over the lid. So I'm actually just going to pat this like in the inner corner like so, because this one is the sparkly shade. I want to take Fruit Fizz like inward, which is this one right here. It's kind of orange and I think it would be really pretty over the purple shade, to have that shade stand out more so than the purple shade, or just even over it. All right, now it says to take that light green shade from the tear duct. I don't think this is gonna work like a liner. I think I'm doing this a little bit more casually. She's like totally wet this and turned it into a liner, but I am not doing that. I might actually grab a liner, like a green liner to do this. I mean, cause she's really like wet this. Okay, I'm trusting the process here because we're not done. We're not done. I'm gonna take the Essence Super Fine Liner Pen. I'm gonna do a little bit of a liner. There's no wing on this or anything, so I'm just trying to like kind of mimic what she did right here with just a very thin line. I'm gonna curl these lashes because we're not doing any falsies. And because I used liner, I'm going to tight line with my Sephora retractable gel liner. I'm actually gonna take a liner, the cream gel liner from ColourPop. This one is one of the multi-chrome ones in Wild Idea over the tear duct. And I'm also going to shove this in the waterline. You know what? I'm just adding a little bit of Fruit Fizz right in the center of the lid. It's that like orangey shade. I just kind of want the center to pop a little bit more. I'm gonna throw on mascara, but I have to finish my base in order for me to complete the eye look. So Beauty Bay High Key Mascara, one of my favorite, if not my favorite, I guess. It's cute so far. This took a turn. This took a full turn, you guys. I ended up melding like two different looks together. So let me go finish my base so we can finish the eye look, the lower lash line, the rest of the 9 yards here, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the palette. I'm all about that base, All right, well, let's just ditch following the instructions because we've made it this far without it. And I'm actually going to take Exotic on the lower lash line, but I'm gonna start with putting the ColourPop Multichrome in Wild Idea in the waterline. I'm not gonna lie, I love these multi-chrome liners from ColourPop. I think they're even more shifty than some of the lighter ones from Moira Beauty that I also like so much. They're more pigmented and they're just like a little bit more metallic, so they show up more. Because I have, I think all of the multi-chrome liners from Moira, unless they extended the line. But these ones are just deeper colored. They just show up a lot more. All right, now I'm taking Exotic on the lower lash line. No, I'm gonna take Prickly. That is the deep purple shade. Most of the way across the lower lash line. And then I'm gonna take Exotic and like brush it all over. I'm gonna skip doing the green because I noticed back on the picture that she's got this so much higher up, and then this is kind of like, you know, where the cut would be. And I don't know, we haven't followed the instructions. We basically melded these two looks together and it didn't come out as sharp as hers, so I don't care anymore. All right, now I'm going to buff Exotic all on the lower lash line underneath that deep purple, and some lower lash line mascara from Maybelline, and that completes the eye look. All right, I want to give my final thoughts like I always do on these palettes. One thing that I love about the Clionadh Cosmetics formula, because I've only ever tested the shimmer formula, so I really don't know anything about mattes. Although I do think she just released some new releases that have mattes in them, but I've never tested that. The Clionadh formula is very smooth. There's nothing textured or foiled about it, so it's usually like a really nice shade to work with, and also they don't show up super textured on the lid, so it's usually a pretty nice look. All in all, this palette though, I feel like you can do a lot of different things with it, but I still stick by, if it was going to be a companion palette, that I wish there were some lighter shimmers, just more lighter shimmers, because I feel like we get basically three. The two big ones and then this one in Dragon Teeny out in the corner over here. I liked the eye look. It's not as sharp as she did her eye look, so I'm a little bit disappointed, but I think that it's still wearable. You know, that's always important for me, like how wearable is this particular palette? I'm definitely glad that the packaging was updated if there were flaws in the original plastic packaging. I'm overall a fan of Clionadh Cosmetics formula. I still say that my singles are better than what I was finding in here. I would love to use this Dragon Teeny shade all on its own, the Fruit Fizz, the Effervescent shade all on their own. Those would be my three favorite shades to wear all on their own with this palette, and really mix some mattes in here, because otherwise it's just always going to be kind of primarily a pinky purple look with some splashes of green. But you could probably also do the Velvet Satin formula in the outer corner. It's just not like a super deep shade, so it's primarily a pink purple color story, but I liked the way that it turned out today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Even though I didn't follow look 1 or 2 completely, I still enjoyed playing with it, and I think it can still be used as a standalone palette. Probably not something I will use as a standalone palette in the future. Probably something that I would use by itself in combination with some mattes. Now that I think about it, you guys, let's do some inner corner work because I nearly forgot. Let's go into Bubbles right here in the inner corner. The only thing is this is like a sparkly shade, so it's not like a super thin inner corner shade. So probably not my favorite inner corner shade. It's pretty, maybe not my favorite. You know what? Let's take Effervescent, the other big shade, to go across the brow bone like so. Yeah, a little bit of a sparkly shade. But now it is done. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I will be linking this palette in the description box in case you guys are interested, since it is still available. I hope that if you guys aren't currently subscribed, you consider subscribing. I'm out of here, and I hope to catch you all in my next video. Bye guys.